Ooh, boy! And I thought the first part of this Season 7 finale was throwing a lot of information at us. Looking back, I'm actually a little glad that I took this in as only one episode before writing each review, as it gave me a lot more time to think because Shadowplay is covering a lot of new ground. And honestly, I can't remember the last time any season finale has had me more excited to see what's coming next. But let's get down to some specifics here. First off, the Pony of Shadows, or Stygian as he was originally known. He seems a fair bit more fleshed out than most other major villains in the series, given how little screen time he's had to work with. When you hear the intro in Part 1, you assume his motivations will be much like Chrysalis, Sombra, or T-Rex, a desire for power and a complete dismissal of friendship. But I really like how Part 2 plays around with your expectations a bit while staying true with lore that was set up a long time ago. In this case, it was both Stygian and Swirl who made mistakes, whose assumptions about each other led to far greater perils for the world of Equestria, along with a sense of pride, arrogance, and even some deep despair that neither were willing to let go of so easily. It's a far better setup and conclusion, which I really appreciated. And then we have the mighty Swirl himself. Hinted at in various episodes for so many years, finally shown in the series, and he did not disappoint. Wise and courageous, yet very set in his own ways. It fits with what little we've learned about his character up to this point in the series, especially with his unfinished spell and why it was able to affect the elements of harmony in the first place. It was he, along with other ancient characters of legend, that first planted that seed after all. Plus, we can understand why he would go to such lengths to banish the Pony of Shadows if he really was such a tremendous threat to all of Equestria. And we can understand why Starlight was essential to the story as well. With Twilight so focused on meeting her idol, it would make sense as to why she might miss that crucial detail about releasing the Pony of Shadows. With Swirl so set in his ways in protecting Equestria, it would make sense as to why he would look down on Twilight so quickly when she had made such a rash decision. And with Starlight in the middle of it all, it would make sense that she was the one to step back and think, what if we didn't have to banish the villain, but instead talk to him? I'm really loving how every character motivation makes sense. How no one feels over or even underutilized. I mean, how many season finales have there been in the past where certain characters had to be captured or depowered in order for the climax to even be possible? It's actually a little refreshing for that not to happen. My only real complaint here is that, as has happened in past episodes, there really wasn't enough time to use all the story possibilities that were presented. You've got so many different characters trying to each have their moment in the spotlight, so many different locations to visit, so many new elements added to equestrian lore. And I truly wish that the MLP staff could have had 3 or even 4 whole episodes to work with. In fact, there's even a small part of me that would have liked to see this story up on the big screen instead of the story we had for the MLP movie. I mean, doesn't it seem like it had so much more at stake? So much more genuine conflict between the heroes? Perhaps even a villain with a more tragic backstory? Towards the end, when Stygian was relating his motivations as to why he felt his contributions to the group were going unnoticed because he lacked the great power each of the 6 legends had, I wondered whether there might have been an earlier draft of the script where Stygian was actually supposed to be, in some ways, the equivalent of Spike to the main 6. And perhaps someday down the line, they may yet explore that story angle. In fact, I can't think of any other season finale that has set up so much potential story material for future seasons. New lands to explore, ancient characters that have suddenly been thrust into the modern era, a deeper connection with the elements of harmony that really enriches the overall lore. Even the reasons as to why no one knew what happened to Star Swirl for all this time actually make sense. He was so sure that this was the only way to keep Equestria safe that he never wanted anyone to know this prison even existed. Honestly, I have a hard time thinking of anything to complain about for this finale aside from a few nitpicks. I really have to applaud the MLP staff for really thinking this through so well from start to finish. And I very much look forward to seeing what they have in mind for the upcoming Season 8. I can't help but feel that the writing is getting more complex with each passing year, and I wholeheartedly welcome the change. What do you think, though? What were your impressions of Star Swirl and the rest of these ancient characters of legend? What about the Pony of Shadows, or this Stygian character and his motivations? What do you suppose might lie in MLP's future, now that they've been adding so much more to the world and the lore? I would like to hear your thoughts on Shadowplay. And even though Season 7 has drawn to a close, I've got to say it's been surprising in more ways than one. I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.